Hi guys, it's Marc Zicree, Mr. Sci-Fi, also known as Marc Zicree of Space Command, and we're not shooting today. We have a day off, so I thought I would do a little Mr. Sci-Fi video in my copious free time as we recharge, and we're going to be shooting again on Friday and also next week to finish principal photography of our first Space Command film. And I thought it would be a nice time to talk about why I do this, why I take on projects that are big projects and difficult projects and projects where I'm blazing the trail. For instance, when I wrote the Twilight Zone Companion, no one had ever done a book of that detail and depth on a TV show that was not, running first run on network. I don't think anyone had ever done a book like that before. Period. It was really a trailblazer, and many books since have followed that format. And then with World Enough in Time, the Star Trek episode I did with George Takei that was done without a studio or a network. That was the first independent project ever nominated for the Hugo and Nebula. Everything before in Best Dramatic category for the Hugo and Nebula had been a studio or a network TV show or movie. So, and then with Space Command, again, we're out on out on a limb, out on our own, and as a result, I'm able to write what I want to write, cast who I want to cast, shoot what I want to shoot. I have nobody telling me what to do, and in my whole career, I've chosen to not take work I don't want to do. I've not taken jobs on shows I don't like or shows that don't interest me. I feel a strong obligation to my audience and to myself to do work of merit and work that matters. And even when I came up with the Deep Space Nine episode that took the characters back to the 1950s as science fiction writers, again, that was me coming up with something fresh and original and truthful. So I want to talk a little bit about where that drive comes from and why I do what I do. And so here's a story that kind of illustrates all of this. Ray Bradbury told me this story, my great mentor and friend. And Ray told me about when he was a young man, he was trying to learn how to be a writer, and he was imitating a lot of writers that he knew personally and liked, Henry Kuttner, Lee Brackett, etc., but not writing anything that was original to him. And he said to me he wrote for 10 years, every single day, before he wrote a single word that was uniquely his. And one day he sat down and he typed the words "the lake." He would word associate titles. And then he would write a short story in one sitting. And he wrote in one sitting a story based on the time when he was a little boy, when he was 8 years old, and he had a little girlfriend who was 7, and they went swimming in Lake Michigan, and he came out, and she never did. She drowned. And he wrote a story about her ghost coming back. And he told me that when he finished the story, tears were coursing down his face, and he knew he'd written something that was uniquely his, that no one else could have written. And he said it was 2 years from that point, writing every single day before he wrote another story that was uniquely his. And then he got to where he could do it more and more frequently and more regularly, and he became Ray Bradbury, the writer whose work we all cherish. And so he understood that calling and that obligation and the need to work harder and strive higher. And so when I was a kid, Twilight Zone, Outer Limits, Star Trek, City on the Edge of Forever, Soldier, Demon with a Glass Hand, Walking Distance, all those great Twilight Zone and Star Trek and Outer Limits episodes, I realized that one episode of a TV show or one short story or one novel could change someone's life forever. But in order to be able to do that, you have to come from a profound truth, and you have to write something fresh and something that will speak powerfully to an individual in the audience or an individual reader. And so I strongly feel that obligation, and I strongly, it enriches my life and enriches, hopefully, the life of my audience. And so that's what I'm doing with Space Command now. And it was funny because I was standing on the set the other day, and I was looking around at the spaceship sets and the asteroid belt colony sets and the Marsport colony sets and so forth. And I was realizing, first of all, the size of this project, which is crazy. To undertake this without millions of dollars is lunacy, but it's looking great, and the acting is phenomenal, and you will be so pleased at what we're creating. And but I realized this all came from me. This was all my crazy idea, and I felt very glad that I was there. Very glad that I was undertaking this and sharing it with you, because it won't be like everything else. It won't be something that's just, oh, this is okay, this is good enough, this will pass until the next weekend when you see something else, or the next hour when you see another show. That's not what I'm doing. That's not what I'm up to. And so it's funny because I just realized when we start filming again, I realized what a big task we're taking on, and it's so exciting to be pulling it off, and I strongly believe we are. And a number of our investors came on set, and that was a lot of fun to show them the sets and show them, and they could watch us shoot. And the press was there the other day, a big press conference with. It was very funny. I was on the Paladin, our gorgeous spaceship set, the bridge, the flight deck, and surrounded by reporters all holding microphones and answering questions. It was such a a funny and surreal moment, but wonderful too. And so I just feel like I'm creating this wonderful gift for you, and also for myself. And we're about 2 shooting days away from finishing principal. We'll have the entire film in rough assemblage very soon, and then we start the Herculean task of the special effects. We have to build our own in-house special effects unit. That's going to be a big task, but we'll do it, and right into the second movie, and then the third, and so that's so exciting, so fun. And there's so many other actors, very famous name actors, that I'm in touch with, that we're going to be bringing into this project. You'll be so excited, so thrilled when you see who these people are. As you know, we had Bruce Boxleitner the other night, which is very, very fun to have him do a role as a general named after Joe Haldeman, my old teacher from Clarion, the author of the Forever War. And so it's just wonderful. It's just wonderful. I'm glad to be doing this. I'm glad to be part of this. I'm glad to be creating something that's uniquely mine. Ray Bradbury said to me, "Don't look outside, look within," and that's what I'm doing here. And there's great moments of truth, moments big and small, lots of fun surprises. So anyway, that's it for now, Mr. Sci-Fi Marc Zicree of Space Command. If you want to comment on this subject, or perhaps talk about some of your favorite moments in film, TV, books, or comment, share, subscribe, like, all the things you do. And we'll talk to you again real soon. But thanks very much for being part of this remarkable journey. Bye-bye.